Give it up for Pep Rosenfeld! Thank you for that introduction. Thank you all for being here. I am indeed Pep Rosenfeld, and I was here all day yesterday, watched some talks today, and I think we can all agree, a lot of talks about culture, a lot of talks about future-proofing your work, collaboration, innovation, all the stuff that's going to take us into the future. And I'm here to tell you there is a secret weapon you can use that accomplishes all that stuff, right? It is a superpower you can grab onto yourself, and that superpower is humor. Now, my background is comedy, and I get it. Of course, I would say the superpower is humor. I super get you might be thinking that. But I brought receipts, and not only did I bring receipts, but like you heard, I actually wrote a book about the subject. The book is called Work-Laugh Balance, and it's about three things. Three things that I'm going to talk about briefly in the next 20 minutes. Why humor is such a great thing for you personally and your office, how you can get funnier starting today, and third, and maybe most important, how you can avoid using your newfound superpower to be a jerk. First, let's talk about why laughing is so good for you. I don't know if you've ever heard that expression, laughter is the best medicine. I'm American, so I just assumed that that was an expression we made up, and we would tell that to poor people that couldn't afford real medicine. We'd be like, don't worry, laughter's the best medicine, and then we'd send them off to die. But it turns out the research backs up the saying. Study after study shows that laughing, it can boost your immunity to diseases, including heart disease. It lowers your blood pressure. It lowers the amount of cortisol in your brain, which lowers your stress level, which then increases your resistance to disease even more. It's great for your health. It's also great for your happiness. When you laugh, it releases the chemicals into your brain, serotonins and endorphins that make you happy. Same stuff that's released when you eat chocolate or have sex. So just think about that. When you laugh, your brain responds as if you're having sex. I do think that if the laughter happens during the sex, the effect might be negative. Laughter is also great for teamwork. When you laugh together, you learn to trust each other. It's an old evolutionary thing where when you laughed, you would build trust, you'd gain respect, you'd bond, you'd connect, and then you would work together. People learn better when they laugh while they're receiving the message. Zillions of things that are great when it comes to laughing and your health, your psychology, and your teamwork. Don't trust my research. You can do the research yourself. Just go to Google, type laughter helps, and let autocomplete do the rest. Oh, one more great thing about connection between laughter and sex is that they're both things that if you do them alone, that's just fine. But if you only do them alone, that might be a thing. Okay. There's also been more studies about laughter as a leadership style. Over at the Stanford Graduate School of Business, they did a study in which they found that leaders that use humor in their leadership style are seen as 27% more motivating. Their employees are 15% more engaged. Pretty awesome. The Harvard Business Review wrote a piece about laughter at work, talking about how laughter boosts engagement, well-being, creativity, collaboration, and productivity. I think my favorite quote on the subject is this one: "Stop talking about the new strategy. Humor is the better way to growth and profit." Now, to be fair, that was me. But I stand by it. There's a whole bunch of research and a whole bunch of reasons why laughing is good for you, your health, your team, and your business. So let's talk about the fun stuff, how to get funnier. And let me say this, the book and this talk, it's not about cookie-cutter joke recipes. It's about a methodology that if you learn 7 skills and practice them, I promise you will get funnier. It's not cookie-cutter joke recipes. Having said that, I have 2 cookie-cutter joke recipes from the book. There's more in the book. Here's 2. The first one has to do whenever you use an acronym at work. We all use acronyms in our meetings, in our presentations, in our conversations. I really hope you use them mostly in writing. Whenever I hear someone say EOD out loud, I kind of want to vomit. But what I like to do as an easy joke form you can all use for free is to think about what maybe that acronym really means and then think of a new phrase for that acronym that means the new meaning. Let me give you an example because I see that was confusing. We're at TNW. I think we all know that means the next web. But walking around here and seeing a bunch of techies drinking booze under the sun makes me think TNW really should stand for Tipsy Nerd Week. So I think that's the cookie cutter you can use right now. Another great one is what we call the rule of threes. Every comedian uses the rule of threes, and you can use it in any presentation. Anytime you're giving information, you can use the rule of threes. Rule of threes is that when you're delivering a bunch of facts and information, the first one is a fact. The second one should also be a related fact, and the third one breaks the pattern and hopefully is funny and gets a laugh. Your brain loves finding patterns. When your brain sees patterns, it's like, awesome, I know what comes next. And if you break that pattern, it goes crazy. And if you break it in a funny way, your brain will laugh. Not only can you start using the rule of threes today, but I insist that you start using the rule of threes today. I want you to right now take 60 seconds and make a rule of threes bio for yourself. So you can shake hands with people and basically say, hi, I'm Joe Phillips. I do startups. I also get the financing for my startup. And I drink a lot of wine so I can get through the first two without going crazy. Whatever it is, the first two set up the pattern. The third one is where you break the pattern, hopefully in a funny way. Take 60 seconds. Please really do it. It's 5% of my talk time. Now look, I would love to go and hear some of those right now. I don't have the time to do it, but I will be signing some books right through there in the media center after this talk. Please share your rule of threes bios with me. But again, the book is really about these 7 skills that can help you get funnier. It takes time and it takes practice, and I want to walk you quickly through them with my remaining time. First skill is to listen. Why? Pep, I thought being funny was about telling jokes, not listening to other people. You would think so. And for a stand-up comedian, it's true. When you pay a ticket to see a stand-up comedian, they can talk about whatever they want. They don't have to make it about you. They can make it about them and their life and their weird relationship with their ex-wife, whatever. But in a meeting or in a conversation or in a presentation, the best thing you can do is make a joke about what the other person is interested in. And the best way to find out what the other person is interested in is to listen to them. And I mean real listening. I don't mean that listening where you're kind of watching the lips move, but you're kind of thinking of your joke, and then when they finally shut up, you deliver it, and that has nothing to do with what they're saying, and they're annoyed because everyone knows when you do that. Listen, do it the Stephen Covey way, right? Fifth habit, seek first to understand, then to be understood, which I think is what his editor made him change the habit to. I'm sure what he originally wrote was shut up when someone else is talking. Item number 2, skill number 2 is to pay attention and take note. This is another way to find out what's funny. What do I mean by this? What I mean is, whenever we walk anywhere, we see stuff. But do we notice it? Do we think about it? Do we get curious about it enough to come up with something funny about it? If you practice doing this, you will make funny observations about stuff that everybody saw, but nobody noticed. Take, for example, the T&W industrial rainbow we all walk under to get there. I walk under that thing and I kind of go, what is up with the rainbow of industrial containers made of metal? What kind of rainbow is this? Is there a leprechaun at the bottom of it? Is he like a steampunk leprechaun with like soot on his face, and he's wearing a train conductor's outfit, and maybe instead of a pot of gold, he's got a pot that's like a mix of coal and like rivets and starving child laborers? I don't know. But that's what I think about when I walk under something like that. And if you pay attention and take note, you will start doing that too. An easy step 1, I hate to say it because I'll sound like your grandpa, but put your phone away when you go to a new place. Instead, look around, see what, and think about it. I'm also not the other grandpa that, posts racist stuff on Facebook, so it works out. Skill number 3, know a little about a lot. Okay, this is good for a couple reasons. You're all tech people. You know a ton about what you know a ton about. But when someone else is talking, or when you're pitching to someone else, or you're talking to someone that's not in your niche, they're not an expert on what you know. You have to know a little something about what they know. And my advice is to know a little about what everyone else knows. How do you do that? Don't trust the algorithm to feed you news, right? The algorithm will give you the news that you like. The algorithm is right, and it's very helpful, but it doesn't help you learn about stuff outside your comfort zone. So instead, click on the sections of the paper or whatever you don't usually look at. If you're tech people, maybe you read the sports page. If you're sports people, maybe you go to the business page. If you're business people, arts. If you're arts, maybe it's superhero movies. If you love superhero movies, maybe you read about Taylor Swift. And if you love superhero movies and Taylor Swift, please, let's talk. Me too. The fourth skill is to make connections, and this is where the magic happens, right? This is where the joke-making connection happens, because making connections is where you take the information you're trying to convey and you connect it to something seemingly unrelated to the topic you're talking about. If you can make people think about this data in a new way, a funny way, they will remember it more, they will understand it more, they'll learn it better, and that message will stick. It is the secret weapon. It's the secret weapon within the secret weapon. It's the magical power that humor gives you. So what does that mean? It means you think of the information you're trying to convey to somebody, and then you connect it to stuff that people are interested in. What kind of stuff? Genres, relationships, anything. Obviously, I do a lot of Taylor Swift songs, but anything you want is fine as long as it's got nothing to do with the data. So I urge you all, make some connections, have some fun. I'm going to move forward. The next skill is be specific. Be specific. I think we all understand that when you give the details, it's funnier, and when you're vague, it's less funny, right? There are so many talks about AI over these 2 days. There are more talks about AI than there are pop songs about relationships. Kind of vague, who cares? There are more AI talks at TNW than Taylor Swift has songs about ex-boyfriends, all right? Now, I know that joke was just for me, but it was specific, and I found it very funny. Be specific. Surprise people. Surprising people is fantastic because surprise is where the brain gets amused and learns to laugh. If you can surprise people, then you can make them laugh. How do you surprise people? By surprising yourself. If it makes you laugh, it might make them laugh. How do you surprise yourself? Never be satisfied with your first idea. Your first idea is never good enough. And even your second or third probably aren't good enough. And the best thing you can do if you're trying to come up with something funny for a presentation or a pitch, work together with someone you trust to give you honest but kind feedback and tell you, this doesn't surprise me, it's not funny enough yet. Seventh skill is to sell it. Sell it is how you really deliver the joke, the story, the pitch with your emotion, your body language, and your energy. It is the way we fight against the 10-30-60 rule. And the 10-30-60 rule says that when you communicate anything, only 10% of what you communicate is the words, 30% is your tone of voice, and 60% is your body language, including your facial expression. Your words are only 10% of the message, and the other 90% has got to sell those words. And there's a great example in an old Eddie Murphy bit from 1987, his show Raw. He did a bit about how he always wanted a McDonald's hamburger, but his mother would always insist on making the burgers at home, and then she'd send Eddie out to play, and it was embarrassing for him. Here's the text of that routine: I won't sell it. And they outside going, we got McDonald's hamburgers, I got McDonald's, and you standing there with this big house burger. And kids are honest. They say, where you get that big welfare green pepper burger. And you cry, wah, my mother made it. I might as well have read the Wikipedia entry. But let's watch Eddie sell it and pay particular attention to how he uses emotion. He really lets you feel all the emotions along the way.
We got McDonald's hamburgers, McDonald's. I got McDonald's. You stand there with this big house burger. And kids are honest and say, yeah, where you get that big welfare green pepper burger? And you cry. My mother made it.
That is Eddie, and he could sell the Wikipedia entry. He's great because he sells it. And I want us now to practice very briefly using our emotions, because you can't sell it if you can't use your emotions. So everybody, we're just going to count to 9, okay? But every 3, we're going to use a different emotion, and that's how we're going to practice attaching our emotions to words that have nothing to do with those emotions. 1, 2, 3, we're going to be happy, okay? Everybody do it, even y'all in the back. 1, 2, 3, we're going to be super loud, super happy in your body language, your voice, your face. Really sell it. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3. That was some great selling it, and back row needs a drug test. That was outstanding. 4, 5, 6, we're going to be angry, okay? Really connect with your anger. Sell your anger for 4, 5, 6. Here we go. And 4, 5, 6. Sometimes I do this activity with management groups, and there's always like a couple of old school, like middle-aged white dudes in the back going like, finally, something we can use today, anger. 7, 8, 9, we're going to do in love. It's a great emotion, and just to really get us in that in love mood, let's all just look off into space and think about the last time we were in love. Everybody look around a different direction. 7, 8, 9 is in love. Here we go. And 7, 8, 9. Oh, fantastic. And obviously, I had us look around so there'd be no creepy in love eye contact. Okay. So if you can connect your emotions to your words, you can and will be funnier. Last question is the question that I call the David Brent question, or do you call it the Michael Scott question? And that is, how can you use your newfound superpowers and not be a jerk? It's easy. There's 4 quick things I'll tell you. Don't punch down. That means don't make fun of people that are lower on the totem pole than you are, minority groups that you're not a part of. Steer clear. Punch up. Hit the CEO. Hit Elon Musk. Hit Donald Trump. They can take it. External targets. Always best when you're starting out with humor in the workplace to make fun of them instead of us. Make fun of yourself first. Then everybody knows you got a sense of humor, not just about yourself, but in general. They know it's just a joke. And of course, if you do joke about the team, make jokes about the stuff they would naturally celebrate, not the stuff that they would be unhappy about. Don't make fun of me for going bald. Make fun of me for running marathons. I'm proud of that. I've never run a marathon. Okay, that is it. That is it. You know everything you need to know in order to move forward in life. You've got the 7 skills that can make you funnier, 2 cookie-cutter recipes to get funnier starting today, and of course, you know what not to do in order to avoid being a jerk. I'm Pep Rosenfeld. Let us all get funnier, and if you want the book or want me to sign one, I will be in there to the right signing and selling books. Thank you all very much.